We are going to walk through the process of finding your topic. If you haven't already, go ahead and download the Finding Your Topic cheat sheet, because this is an exercise we're going to go through together. I promise you, if you do this and follow my instructions, you will not only come up with your book topic for one book, you're going to actually come up with topics for multiple books. I'm going to walk you through how this works. So hopefully you have that in front of you. It's a T chart, and on the left-hand side of the T is the word passion. I've already talked about this, the importance of passion. You have to have passion when it comes to writing a book. But this exercise, I want you to erase any thought of a book at the moment. All I want you to do is think about your life, think about you, and think about what are you passionate about. I'll give you some examples for myself. I am passionate about personal development. I always have been. I met Zig Ziglar when I was 18 years old, and I literally developed my passion for personal development at that time. I love goal setting, self-esteem building, all of it. I'm passionate about it. I love going to seminars and being with other people that feel the same way, like-minded people with goals and ambitions. That is absolutely a big part of my passion. I'm also passionate about the beach. I live in McKinney, Texas, so I'm landlocked. But someday I will be at the beach, because the beach is the place for me where I am just most creative. I'm most in my own skin, but it's also where I get what I call downloads. I get these creative ideas. So I try to get to the beach as often as possible. My office is decorated like I'm at the beach. Our home has a lot of different beach themed things as well. And so I just love the beach. So it's on my list for my passions. I'm also passionate about my pugs. I have two dogs, Rex and Rosie, and they are pugs. They're the silliest, craziest dogs you've ever seen. I've kind of become obsessed with pugs. I have pug mugs and shirts and hats and all kinds of things, and they bring our family so much joy and laughter. I'm passionate about them, so they go on my list. I'm also passionate about like-minded people and seminars and people with goals, and that's really important to me that I surround myself with people like that. I'm passionate about my faith. It's very, very important to me. It's been a big part of my life since I was a very little girl, and I'm passionate about it. And I surround myself and my thoughts and the people I'm with around other people that share that same value. And so many other things. Passionate about babies. I'm kind of that crazy baby lady. If you have a baby and I see you somewhere, I'm gonna wanna hold your kid. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. I love babies. And there's so many other passions that I have, but that's just some ideas to get you started. What are your passions? What do you love to do? What lights you up? What are you doing when the time is just flying by? Or maybe you feel the most in your own skin. Those are clues. It's a clue for so many things, but it's definitely going to be a clue for what's going to be your best book topic. Write down as many of those passions as possible, no less than 5. But if you do this right, you're going to have tons and tons of passions. And in fact, the more you have on your list, the better this exercise will be for you. Let's shift gears to the right side of the T chart. The word on the top says experiences. What I want you to think about are all of the significant experiences you've had in your life. It could be anything from things that happened as a child. It could be things in your career. It could be starting a business. All of those experiences matter. Why we want to put these on your list, though, is you are a lot about your experience. You're not only your experience, but you want to put all of those different things. But here's the tricky part with experience. A lot of times in life, we have experiences we didn't really want to experience. You don't have to share this list with anyone, but you do have to write down, maybe you've been through bankruptcy or divorce or abuse or anything that you didn't want to go through, but you did, and it made an impact on you. It has to go on your list. I'll share some of my experiences with you. I've already mentioned a few times that I've been in sales. I started my career with Zig Ziglar, and so those are two very unique experiences. Sales, obviously, that's something I've done my whole life, but working for Zig, I learned so much from him with a very significant experience for me. I also have experience. I'm a mom. I have 2 amazing young men, sons, who are at this moment 24 and 20 years old, and they bring so much joy to my life. I have a lot of experience being a parent and a mom of boys. I have experience. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I do all of those things that I'm teaching you in this course. I do as well. I have experience with that. I also have experience, believe it or not, a long time ago, I was a dancer. And in fact, when I was in high school and college, those years, I was really, really active. And I had some incredible experiences. I got to fly to Australia to dance at the opening ceremonies of the World's Fair. And I also got to do a private dance for the Queen of England back in the day. I know you can't believe it now. I can't either, but there was a time I could do all those things. And then another experience I'm going to share with you that I don't necessarily want to share it with you, but I'm going to because I really want to prove the point of why writing down these negative experiences is so, so important. When I was younger, when I was middle school, for sure middle school and high school, I had a really low self-confidence, low self-esteem. I really don't know where it came from. I mean, I had a great family, wonderful friends. We talked already about negative beliefs. Somewhere along the way, I got that belief that I wasn't good enough and it stuck. And so in my middle school and high school years, this low self-esteem, it impacted me. It impacted the friends that I had. It impacted the decisions that I made. And while I'm not happy to share that with you, I want you to know that you have to put those things on your list because they shaped who you are. And I could go on and on and on and on. I have many, many more positive and a lot more negative experiences, including death in the family and much more. But those experiences are super important for you to write down. So if you haven't already, make that list. Make as many things as you can think of personally, professionally, the good experiences and the bad, and come up with no less than 5, but hopefully you'll have a lot more. Because once you have these 2 lists, you have all of your passions listed on the left, all of your experiences listed on the right. Here's where the magic of this exercise comes in. Because you are not just your passions and you are not just your experiences. The perfect book topic for you can't be one or the other. It has to be that intersection. It has to be a book or a topic that you have passion and experience. Let me give you some examples just from my own. I mentioned that I'm passionate about personal development. I love it. And I began loving it when I was 18 years old when my parents forced me to go to that Zig Ziglar conference. And on my experience side, I worked for Zig Ziglar. That's a pretty cool experience. So there's a connection there. So what you do is you find something on the right side or the passion side and you connect it to where you have the same thing on or a similar connection on the experience side. So personal development, working for Zig, there's a connection there. But I also have a connection with personal development and that negative belief that I shared with you, my low self-esteem. I don't love that I had that, but guess what? There's a connection. Because I love personal development, I had low self-esteem, I had to use personal development to get me out of that negative mindset. I had to change my beliefs. I had to change everything about how I was thinking about my life in order for me to move forward, which I did. But why am I bringing this up? Well, the connection is I love personal development. I learned so much from Zig, and I also had to use personal development in my own life. So that is an intersection. That is a connection. And guess what? That was my very first book, Winning in Life Now, How to Break Through to a Happier You. I wrote that book at the time for no one other than my kids. It was just something I was doing for myself. But that book was really all about my journey. It was about personal development and the things I learned from Zig, but it was also talking about my ups and downs in life and how I use personal development to get me out of some tough times. So there's a connection. I could find other connections on my list too. I love babies, I'm a mom, I'm a speaker, author, and I love being around other passionate, like-minded people. When you do this, you're gonna find multiple connections, and the more the better. What you wanna do is look at that list, see where you have those connections, and then pick out which one would be the easiest for you to start with. Because that's really gonna show you multiple topics, but guess what else it shows you? It just shows you who you are. Because ultimately, we are a combination of our passions and experiences. So if nothing else, it's gonna get clarity into who you are and what you can bring to this world. But I promise you, do this exercise in detail and you will come up with a topic for your book. So find one, because through the rest of these modules, we're gonna be taking that topic that you select, and I'm gonna be walking you through some processes to help you get it out of your head and onto paper.